outside violence will stop. We are always ready to point out the imperfections of others. What about our own imperfections? There are so many. A man once visited me and he told me about his family. He said that his wife is a lawyer. I asked, "Oh, she goes to argue in the court?" He said, "No, Swamiji, she argues at home." We are all ready to point fingers at others and argue. Instead, let us start removing the impurities inside us, and then automatically there will be no need to argue outside. Carry with you words that heal yourself and others. Show friendliness towards the other's body, mind, and being. This is what is applied spirituality. Spirituality is not ringing the bell regularly in the puja room and praying to Goddess Lakshmi for wealth. It is imbibing the qualities of Lakshmi, which are grace and goodwill. Wealth will automatically happen to you. We all think that we only need to do rituals and we will get the results. No. Be very clear. When you chant Ram Ram 1,000 times a day, with no intention or inclination to transform yourself, it is as good as chanting Coca-Cola 1,000 times a day. The basic idea behind rituals is to understand and imbibe in order to transform yourself, and then the material results will happen seamlessly. Once you are able to show friendliness to the other, have patience and perseverance, and you will experience a supreme and mutual emotion that is love. The other will also reciprocate your transformed emotion, and then you have arrived. Your being becomes bliss. Then you have done your meditation properly. When love becomes the center of your being, sex becomes a deep union of two beings. The problem is, true love is lost under the covers and lust has taken over. As a result, what happens? The beings never come together, only the bodies come together. The relationship remains at a very superficial level. Anything superficial can be shaken easily. Anything needs a deep root in order not to be shaken. This is simple logic. Also, lust always blinds you. It takes you into unconscious intoxication. Love also intoxicates you, but it is an intoxication that takes you into deep awareness. It is such a beautiful state. Lust and love are two ends of the same spectrum. Anything that puts you into deep awareness is a meditation. Anything that puts you in an unconscious state is not conducive. This is the scale to see if what you are experiencing is good for you or not. One more thing. When you love deeply, there will be no room for jealousy. Jealousy is there because you are afraid that the shallow roots will give away. If the roots are deep, why would you be afraid? Why would you be jealous? Do you understand what I am trying to tell? Trust in your partner feels shaky because of a superficial relationship, a relationship based only on fantasy and lust. Romance is not real romance if you feel it towards only one person. Life itself is a romance. Your very being has to exude romance towards existence. When your being expresses itself through your head, it is intelligence. When it expresses itself through the heart, it is compassion. When it expresses itself through the body, it is energy. And when it does not express itself, but just is, it is bliss. When you reach this stage, you will not be dependent on anyone outside for any sort of joy. You will simply resonate with joy all the time inside yourself. Of course, you will be able to multiply it by sharing it with others outside. When you feel deeply connected to a person, there will be no need for physical proximity to that person. You will feel happy and satisfied with just the feeling of connection with him or her. You will feel complete unto yourself and not look to anything outside for fulfillment. This connection will not suffer separation or anything else. A relationship is all about feeling connected to someone at a deep level, beyond all things. When you don't understand this, you bind yourself to people with so many conditions and you call it a relationship. It becomes shaky and you work hard at maintaining it and conclude that relationships are a torture. People come and tell me, Swamiji, I want to come and stay in the ashram. I'm not happy staying at home. I always tell them that if they are not able to be happy with 4 people in the house, they cannot be happy with 100 people at the ashram. Do you think that the ashram is some escapist lodge? Be very clear. Home is not anything outside of you. Being blissful all the time, irrespective of what goes on around you, is what is being at home. If you are not able to be like this, you will not be at home anywhere. When I stayed for months together in an 8 feet into 8 feet enclosure, I was as blissful as I am today sitting on this throne. Please try to understand this. The capacity lies in understanding that your happiness has nothing to do with the outer world objects. A dog is biting a bone and starts bleeding from the mouth. It thinks that the blood is coming from the bone and bites further into it and licks the blood. What will happen to the dog? Only pain will happen. This is what you are also doing. You think that the pleasure or pain is to do with things outside of yourself, and you indulge further and further in it and become miserable. Do you follow what I am saying? Yes, what is your question? Swamiji, how can we protect our children from developing these kind of problems? To be frank with you, you cannot fully control it. You cannot control all of the child's interactions with society. But there are some things that you can practice at home. As I said earlier, don't suppress the child's other half. Let it freely express and experience itself in different ways. Don't teach the child to be gender conscious. Just allow the child to be his or her natural self. Let them explore themselves. Children, when untouched by social conditioning, are by nature so comfortable inside their own boundaries. You might have noticed babies playing. They play with their genitals or pulling their big toe into their mouth and doing similar other things. These things just show that they are so comfortable and loving inside their own boundary, exploring, enjoying. But we don't allow them to do these things. We immediately stop them when they do these things. We tell them that it is wrong. Actually, it is good to allow them to explore. And when it comes to their clothing, it is always better to dress them in a single piece of clothing instead of a 2-piece. The latter gives them a sense of dividing their body into 2, and with time, they forget and become insensitive to the lower half of their body. It is almost a division in their consciousness. That is why today, if you are asked to visualize yourself, almost always, only your upper half will come to your mind. You simply neglect your lower half. Just allow the child to be free in its ways, even if it means that you have to take certain risks. Children have with them a certain sense of intuition and instinct. So you can take the necessary precautionary measures and just allow them to explore. Also, children are so total in their expressions. They don't suppress them. They don't know to bring in their mind and exhibit superficial or hypocritical behavior like us. We have all mastered the art of hypocrisy by allowing our mind to exercise restraint. We never express totally.